Assalamu alaikum, my name is Salim Siddiqui and thanks for listening to the video series on the hotconflict.com website. And we're continuing to tell you the story. And what was the question I want you to remember? Because we get to an interesting part of the story. We said that this story is about Eid, the great Muslim celebration, where Muslims all over the world are gathered together and praying and worshiping to the Lord Most High, bowing as they all do, facing towards Mecca, the holy house that Abraham and Ishmael built. And we're continuing to tell you the story of the truth in a way that you've never heard it before. And so, because this story has gotten so long, it is now that I give you the good news that I believe this is the end. As we said, we are telling the story from the beginning to the end and maintaining the fundamentals, and that is that there is only one God, La ilaha illallah, that the Lord is most high, greater than all things and over and above everything in the universe. The Lord is the one who created the universe. He is not within it. He is higher than that. And that of all the strange things and knowledges in the universe, that the Lord made angels of the light who have no free will and obey the commandments of the Lord. But Allah, the Lord Most High, and we say Allah, the word in Arabic, which means the God, and Muslim, someone who submits to the truth of this story that I'm telling you. And this story of truth is called Islam. The way to understand Islam is the story of truth, although you have never heard that before. And so we said, in understanding this, that man was then created and we are the greatest of all races, and the story that I am telling you is greater and huge than any petty difference or racial squabble or gender issue. And after listening to the story, you should understand the importance of what it is that we are supposed to do, as the Lord Most High has given each prophet the word and the book, and in chains of succession, we have been given the truth and the story that every one of the prophets knew. Of course, they knew many, many things, and I am just a humble servant telling you just part of the tale, but in the appropriate way from the beginning to the end, with as much detail as necessary for you to understand the truth, but in a way that has never been done before in the English language. And we said that we must understand the final fundamental, that all of this is by the will and power of God, and that the most important thing for us to remember, that we are always searching for the true Lord. And the Lord is the one who is described in no shape, form, image, icon, cross, statue, pyramid, or symbol. The Lord is always known as the light, and all those who have been told the secrets of the ancients to this very day have known to seek the light, whether you were of a certain religion, name, creed, secret organization, whistleblowing group, or anything else. We said the story that you are hearing today is greater than all of that, and that the challenge is going to be made, and the proof of this tale will be so dramatic. Well, we said just in the last part, as I continue to go on and tell you, every part of the story must continue to be more amazing, that the reality of your own soul is that you have already heard the story, and that you had already been created, and that God had already told you all of this, and that you had already known the tale, and you had already taken the oath that I am saying that we believe that there is only one God. And all of us were gathered before all of us, all of this universe was created. I mean, before that, when this happened, and we all took that oath and we all swore to it. And so now let's just close off this section, and so you understand the fundamentals and know that if someone comes, like I said, if someone comes to a nation to reveal to them the truth, as the Lord Most High, because He already told you the story, and we said He is the most compassionate, that He has already told you the story. So all those of us who are alive now, in the English-speaking language, the reason why you are recognizing my words is because those of you who speak English and that is your mother tongue, you've heard the story that I am telling you before. Daddy, listen to this because it's amazing. So you recognize my words and you recognize these terms that I'm using, and you know the references that I'm giving are clear from your own sources. But I said something amazing. I said that because I'm not a soothsayer or a false prophet, because there is no messenger after the Prophet Muhammad, that everything I'm telling you must be available and open in sources. But I still made an additional challenge. I said that no one on earth has ever spoken the story of truth in the proper way as the bearers of light did, from the beginning till the end, as I have now done today. And I have told you, the listening audience, some weird, wild stuff, right? I mean, you have heard things about the light that you should understand that are greater than anything of the darkness, but you always are interested in the dark and the Jinn and the aliens and the black craft and the mummies and pyramids and the Anunnaki and the different strange concepts. I know you're interested in all of that, and we've gone through some of that history. Alchemy, morphing, cloning, witchcraft. Go back and listen to the story. Don't get excited about all these little parts of the tale, because we must remind you of the fundamental, that there is only one God. And to make you understand the glory and greatness of God, I said that when someone comes to tell you the story of truth, when the truth is revealed to a nation, in the first time in their own language, there should be signs. And we even said that the arrival of Barack Hussein Obama, speaking about change, or in other words, the light, a black man enslaved in this nation, now rising to their greatest leader, was a sign for those of knowledge who are listening to my tale to see that after his arrival, someone would come telling them the truth of the whole story from the beginning till the end. Now, because I know that my father's prayer was answered in a more beautiful way that my father could ever imagine, I am able and have the grace by the Lord as his humble servant to make this challenge. Now, I said, if we listen to the story, all of it must fit. That the final messenger came as a messenger to all of the earth, and that's why Muslims can pray anywhere on this world. And dare I say, in the universe, as you will begin to understand if you're listening to the story, and that the prophet came with the final word of the Lord to all of the universe, and that this very word will be protected forever until the end of days, and that by speaking the word and knowing the word is something more powerful and full of light than anything else, and that that word is in our language the most beautiful Arabic that the world has ever seen, and strangely to the other races the most beautiful of music that they comprehend. And we went through how the Jinns and the aliens use music as communication. Go back and listen to the story. But since I'm telling you something so amazing, the proof that I'm going to have to give you has to be incredible. It must be a proof where I say the story that I have told you is true, and I am not a soothsayer, so I don't have to make a prediction. I tell you that all of this is by the plan of Allah, even my own words, and that the proof of my story is with you, and you should show it to me. Daddy, I love you. Listen to this. The requirement is that when a people is told the truth in their own language for the first time, from their greatest scholars should be found their most knowledgeable people, and they should show what they have just learned. And when you hear it, and when they reveal their most new and profound wisdom and knowledge of all of their information, anyone who has heard my story of truth from beginning till end should say, yeah, we already knew that. And we already know what that means. And whatever it is you think you know, we even know more than that, buddy. That is the truth. And it is a glad tiding to our family that Allah has blessed us with a sign so large and so grand that had I not seen it, could not have believed it. Now, I said it should be something that is obvious, and it should be something that is clear, and it should be something that is able for anybody else to see, and it should be open to all people, not from me, but from you. So let me just tell you the story. As I've been recording these videos, obviously I've been stopping and taking breaks. As the Lord is my witness, this has been a long tale. But it had to be told, and now you know why. And it had to be told this way, and now you know why. And you have to have seen all the signs, and now you know why. I have shared no secret, but just put the tale in a way so that the light should be made clear. And because I have done so, humbly by the will of God, by the prayer of my Father, Allah the Lord Most High has marked this moment on the earth. We said all of the signs are global, that the changes that we're marking are global, so that the sign that I'm referring to, the proof that you must give me, must be huge. So there I was, sitting in between some of these recordings, and as I've told you, I didn't know the truth of the whole story until I began to tell it. And this evidence and this proof didn't become made clear to me until I was actually recording these videos. I put on the news. And I'm watching the news. And so what did I say? I said that I'm sitting there watching the news, and from your own technology we have said that if you understand the question, then you should understand the answer. That we said the reason we're giving this whole story is so that you could understand Eid, the great Muslim celebration, or the great festival related to Muslims all over the world celebrating and praying, facing towards Mecca, the house that Abraham and Ishmael built. And we've said every part of the story must relate back to Abraham because he was the one who made the challenge on the earth that the Lord Most High would always reign supreme, and that his Lord, our Lord, the people who talk and understand the Lord, the light, know that he is the only one who gives life and takes life. And we've described every part of that story related to that. And so there it was on your very own television sets. I sat there and I challenge you. Like I said, the proof of my story must be within your own information. So there I sit watching television and I see on TV a story. It says that Muslims have gathered for the Hajj, and all of the Muslims are praying towards Mecca, and that Eid is being celebrated all over the world. And this is a house built by Ishmael and his father Abraham, the great monotheistic religions. And that millions of people are gathered from all over the world to come and praise the Lord and circle around the house in counterclockwise fashion. Well, there was the story. And it is there on every single television set as I'm telling you this tale. In every newspaper around the earth, with the greatest of radio and communication and greatest of televisions, the story that I am telling you has been there the whole time, and the sign has always been there for you to see. Now I know that you didn't understand the significance of all of the Muslims doing this and why they are doing it and what the rituals implied. And perhaps it wasn't made clear to you how important it was and what being a bearer of the light and the light being around the house of the Lord meant. And that this house of the Lord is the house of the Lord established for the whole earth. And that the rituals that the Prophet left us are continually practiced year after year, Hajj every year, fasting every year, praying all the time, giving charity every year, and all of this is preserved and established for you. And so that forever and for all time, the sign was clear. That even on your own TV stations, any one of you can look as I speak this word and see that the story is made known to all of the land. That Muslims are performing this act, and in that there is a sign for you. You should be able to recognize, wow, this is a weird story, a story that I never heard before. And now that I understand the story, seeing that there are Muslims still doing that as many nations had gotten the word and then lost it, and many nations had a place of worship and then lost it, that this house of worship built by Abraham, the one who said, my Lord is the one who gives life and takes life, that could never be lost in that is a sign for those who understand. And so there is the proof. Go back to the tape and look. As I spoke these words, every single TV station and news station, you can see a story saying, oh, by the way, Muslims gathered and described what it is we were talking about right now. But I know that all of you didn't understand, even though that was a sign for you. My name is Salim Siddiqui, and you're watching Hot Conflict, and this is the strangest story you have ever heard in your life on the face of the earth in the English language. Now, I know you're a little disappointed right now, because if I said to you, that's the proof that that TV showed that Muslims are doing Hajj. Okay, yes, it's true. It's kind of, we understand, we get your point. Technology's there. You can go on the internet, you can listen to the radio, you can watch TV, and all across the whole planet Earth, everybody knows that Muslims are doing Hajj. So what? We all knew that. That's not this. That's not it, right, Salim? Haven't I told you a tale that is more incredible and more grand than anything that you have ever heard in your life? And so after I saw that little clip on TV, this just happened to be how I received the information, I then went into the kitchen and took a piece of bread and put it in the toaster, and it burned. And when I pulled it out, I saw Allah written in the toast. And then I cut a tomato, and when I opened it, I saw Allah and Muhammed in the tomato. Well, yes, if I said something like that, then you should be ticked off. If I told you that was the sign, then you should take the tomato and throw it at me. Now, for all due respect to my Muslim brothers and sisters who have found La ilaha illallah in a tree or a tomato or anything else, Jazakumullah khair. We all say thank you. That's kind of cool. But the story of truth has to be and must be something provable that is so superior than what you could have ever imagined. So here is my challenge and here is the proof. We said that as a sign, when someone comes to a nation for the first time, listen to this, Daddy, and it's so amazing. When someone comes truly for the first time to ever any nation, as Allah, the Lord Most High, has promised, as He promised all of our souls from the beginning, I am telling you this tale and you will know it. And on top of that, I will send people who will come to you and they will tell you the tale again. Because if you are a believer, once you hear the tale from the beginning to the end, as it should be told, you can never be deceived by any of the dark tricks. Be a believer in the light. That is what it means to say La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah. There is only one God. And so we said that the challenge must be amazing. It must be something that can be proved. It can't be something that I say, oh, I'm going to make a prediction and next week this will happen. No, it must be something so incredible that proves all of the fundamentals, especially the fact of the last fundamental. When we always go to search knowledge from the aliens or the jinns or the dark side, we try to get them to give us information of the future. And sometimes they tell us stuff and sometimes they tell us lies. And all of the people who have had alien contact or jinn contact or know of any of the truth of the story that I have just told you all of will tell you that you get lies with the truth. But when it is the truth of the Lord, it is not something that the storyteller has to say, I predict next week this will happen. He says something more incredible. He says, by the will of the Lord, I am speaking to you the truth for the very first time in the way it should be spoken from the beginning to the end. And the tale I have told you is so strange and so weird, but you should know it because I have explained it to you correctly and why your soul remembers it. But those of you who still wish to deny the veracity of the truth, the storyteller must make the challenge that go look to your most knowledgeable people on the earth and ask them, have they found any new knowledge? And when they tell you what they have found, it should be something that anybody who has heard my story already understands. So here was what happened on TV. Go back and check the tape. Not my proof to you, but your proof to me. By the will of God, Daddy listened, it is marked. Such a large sign that I could not believe that we were blessed in this way and that the truth is being spoken like this. Sit and watch your television, and if you will see, I told you the story is there for you. But unless you understood the truth that I told you, even though the evidence is shown to you, you wouldn't recognize it. But now that I tell you, meaning if you had watched the news 3 or 4 days ago and watched what I'm about to tell you, you wouldn't understand. But now that I have revealed to you the story of the truth from the beginning till the end, you now know what this means. During the days of Eid, what must be the evidence? Well, if anybody must be able to go find the evidence, like we said, Daddy, that when the person tells the story of the truth to a nation, the first time the right way, they must be able to go look through their own knowledge and find that their own most knowledgeable people have revealed something that proves the story. So I challenge anyone to go watch any of the tapes and watch the news in the days that the Muslims have been performing Hajj. Meaning 2008, and I'm not even going to talk about the year of our Lord or after death, because that's a whole nother video. But you have been deceived. Every part of the story must make sense. Christ is not your Lord, and even Christ didn't die. Both descriptions of the very years and numbers that you use are incorrect, which is why a person who comes revealing the truth of the light doesn't make a prediction about a certain day, because your understanding of time is not even correct if you've listened to my story. So the sign must be so clear. Here is what happened. Go watch TV and look at this. You will see the story that I just told you. Now marks the celebration of Eid, where Muslims all over the world are celebrating the great Eid. At the same time, in Mecca in Saudi Arabia, there is the holy house of Abraham that Abraham built, the great monotheistic faith, to the worship of the Lord with his son Ishmael. Muslims are there circumambulating the house of the Lord. There's the story, right? We said that was the evidence. Now I'm telling you the truth of what your most knowledgeable scientists then reveal. Go back and look at the tape, and on some TV stations, it is the very next story. The very next story at that very moment that your own greatest technology people are spreading the truth that some believers in the faith who hold the light are going around the holy house. The very next story is the answer and the proof that I am sharing with you. And the sign is so clear that I couldn't have believed it. The very next story on the news, go back and check the tape, is a one of strange scientific fact. That the greatest scientists of our nation right now have declared that they have found out more information about our universe than they have ever had before. I told you the sign I was going to give you would freak you the frack out. Scientists said that they have found out more information about the universe than they have ever found before. They have found out that in the center of our galaxy, there is a darkness. In the very center of our galaxy, there is a darkness. A darkness that is so dark that not even the light exists there. And that we know that any of the instruments that we use or anything that we have of our knowledge, when you approach the darkness, it doesn't function. Because there are strange dark forces of anti-gravity there in this dark area at the center of our galaxy. This is the greatest knowledge that the scientists have just revealed. That they have just revealed. Don't you already understand it if you've listened to my tale? Now I will tell you something else that is even more amazing. The scientists have said that many scientists have been studying this strange dark area that uses gravitational darkness to do weird things, that there is something strange going on in the center of our galaxy, where this place of the greatest darkness is, that around this darkness are balls of smokeless fire going in circular motion around the center of darkness in clockwise fashion. Scientists reveal that this is the most interesting information that we have yet to discover. We hope that this helps us to learn more about the universe and everything that is in it, and really what's going on out there. That was the story that just got revealed. Go back and check the tape. Now, if you are a scientist and you're hearing this, then you know that the story we told you already explains that we know that. And that center of darkness is evil. And around evil is worshiping other evil in a clockwise fashion, enwrapping in on the darkness. And at their darkness, there is no light. And the stories are right there, but if you don't understand the stories, you didn't see that your own knowledge is saying, hey, here are some Muslims, they are believers in the true light, going around the house of the Lord on this earth, worshiping the light. And there in the darkness is that. So we've told you a story that warps and morphs every part, but we said it has always been a story about light and dark, and that we are talking about faith. But don't you understand that the story that I'm telling must also be able to fit and explain what the greatest people are understanding from science and technology? Is science and technology greater than what the Lord Most High has given to us of the Word? Of course, anyone who understands the truth of the light understands more deep things than a scientist. Now, I'm not a scientist and I don't know astronomy, and I would have never looked to see if there's a dark spot in the universe. I already knew that. I know there's a lot of them, more than we think. 7, perhaps greater than that. Listen to my words, brothers and sisters, because the mysteries of the universe are being revealed. Listen to this story. And so there is the proof. Daddy, isn't that a crazy thing? Amongst your own greatest and most knowledgeable of people, they have revealed knowledge to the earth of the mysteries of the universe. Because we said this tale was me spinning all of the mysteries together. Of the soul of the dark, of aliens of other races, from the beginning till the end, in a way that has never been told to you before, and we have given you all of the proof. And that the side of someone who tells the story of the truth is that he says, your greatest scientists are going to discover something at the very moment that I'm telling this tale. It will be the greatest knowledge that they have ever found. And when you hear what they have found, you will think, wow, that's strange. But if you know the story of the truth of the light, you will say, yeah, scientists, we already knew that. We already knew that. We already knew that there were centers with darkness. And we already knew that there's people worshiping around the devil. And we already knew that they use gravity and anti-gravity forces, and we already knew all of this stuff, and all of the signs are made clear to us because we understand the story. But there in your own newspapers and television are the reports, and you see the Muslim story, but you think they are your enemy, and then you see the scientific story of the weirdness, and you think that is strange. But no one has ever told you that every story and every tale and every piece of information and every bit of knowledge, and the fact that the Lord Most High destined for your own sources to show you the light and show you the darkness, as every scholar has told you, the balance is always perfect. Yin and yang, black and white, light and dark. The story that I'm weaving for you is not weaved of my own, but from the truth of the light. So every part of it must be clear. That the very evidence of the truth must be greater than the story that I told. If I said to you, oh, I'll predict some little thing, no. I said that the proof is there, that the tale that I told you about the mysteries of the whole universe, that your greatest, most knowledgeable people have just found out, is something that anybody who knows the story of the truth can easily comprehend and even say, yeah, man, we already knew that. I'm no scientist, but I knew that. That there is the proof.